I don't know, some niggas was raised wrong or raised differently. Maybe they was raised right, maybe I was raised wrong. I don't know. But if that's what you into, you gotta do that by yourself. I'm just not that type of person. You know, what I do is, it's about education, it's about evolution. When I'm talking to my young boy, I got 3 sons that pay attention to the way I move. You know, so I'm never gonna move just according to my morals and my compass. I'm never gonna do something to have them look at me and say, "Oh, this daddy did this, so I can do it," when I know it's some dumb shit. That's just not how I move. So at the end of the day, you know, I don't subscribe to that. You know, I've never been bullied. You know, you can't disrespect my name. It's impossible for you to disrespect my name. My name is solidified. Any nigga that know me gonna tell you that boy stand up in any situation. You know, so I don't gotta engage in none of that. And that's what I want you. Don't feel pressured, man. Young King, don't feel pressured to do something because of the world trying to gas you up. Never been pressured. I've never been pressured to do anything. Anything that I did was out of consciousness and something I wanted to do. You can't pressure no grown man into making a move that doesn't go according to who he is and doesn't represent him properly. It's not the best move. Don't ever let somebody pressure you into making a move that don't make sense. That's called stupidity. Don't let nobody pressure you into stupidity. You know? That's it. That's the bottom line. We ain't even on that. That's not niggas. I never been a follower. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna tell you some real shit, right? I got a lot of my friends, family members, and everything that are gang members. You know, and they've been gang members. A lot of them is respectable dudes. Like I grew up around a lot of the sex, money, and murder before it was a gang. So a lot of those dudes was official dudes that was in the street life, and they took. You know what I'm saying? What they did was, hold on a second. What they did was take. Who is it? Is that someone? Okay. Oh, I don't think so. So a lot of them was really in the street. Oh, I don't think so. So a lot of them was really in the streets. You know, they took their real family and dudes they was working with, right? That they was really in the streets with, and they created their own blood set. So it was a lot of dudes that was really, you know what I'm saying, really in the streets, and this was their life. So there's, you know, so I understand the lifestyle, understand what it is. A lot of my friends, you know, are gang affiliated and gang members. But I want you to understand this. Everybody that's a gang member ain't tough. You understand what I'm saying? Everybody that's a gang member ain't no gangster. A lot of these dudes join the gang for protection. You know, they are gang members that are official dudes, and they seen, you know, they joined it because they seen it as a symbolism of unity. You know what I'm saying? There were situations where there's a lot of these dudes that joined gangs for protection because they was too scared, right? They went to jail or they was in a hood where they was scared and they needed somebody to protect them because they couldn't stand on their own. I just want you to understand that. But it's a lot of dudes that's real blood dudes and real Crips, and they stand up dudes. And they was the ones that, and they decided, you know, this situation fits me. I'm aligned with these people, the people who brought me home, and the people who you know got me acclimated to becoming part of this gang is people I respect. But it's a lot of these dudes that was just soft. So they joined, they got underneath somebody's wing because they didn't want to get extorted. They didn't want to get beat up. They couldn't stand on their own. They needed somebody to protect them. You understand what I'm saying? It ain't some of these dudes is talking to you about if that's all they want to tell you about because they haven't established anything outside of them. You understand what I'm saying? If that's all they can tell you all day is this and that, what have you established as a man outside of the entity that was even there before you? These niggas don't beat nobody. They want to tell you this, I'm gang this and that. And you niggas got part of the gang community because you needed protection. You wasn't tough. And you can tell that by the way that you move. If everything you do, you need to call the gang and this and that because you can't stand on your own and deal with men like men, it don't make you nothing. Young King, don't let these dudes trick you. These dudes be trying to trick you. Don't let them trick you. A lot of these dudes be weak and soft, so they join these gangs when they was young because they was weak. It wasn't because you was strong and you was the man. They didn't come into the game OG. They didn't come in with rank. These niggas was low-level dudes that was scared that somebody grabbed up and dojed for a while, and then they got old, so people started giving them some OG title. These niggas don't beat nobody. They just trick people. They trick it, right? And they play it on the minds of dudes that's not really official. And when you start having real conversations with the official dudes that be from set to set, and you start having conversations, you ask them about these dudes, they don't have no status. They don't have no real respect amongst dudes. They be suckers. So they use the gang. These niggas was doges and dummies that was scared. They got put underneath the wing of strong dudes because they needed somebody to protect them. I went to jail for 7 years at the height of games like that. Never joined a gang set. All my dudes, beloved, was high members, top level gang members. Yo, come home. Nah, bro. Because everybody that you attached to, I would never rock with. I know that y'all douches. I'm not putting my life on the line for dudes that I have no respect for. I did that. I did my time in jail, neutral, man. None of that. None of it. You know? None of it. Never needed nobody to hold me down. None of that. I stood on my own, too. I allowed myself with the few dudes that I fuck with. They might have been blood. They might have been Crip. They might have been Latin King. But they was the niggas that me and them had our own bond. So when these niggas talk gangs, listen to me. I have no disrespect because I understand gang is a way of life. You know, it's a lot of people that they live their life, but there's a lot of these dudes that join the gang for protection, and they still utilize it for protection, because without it, they not nobody. They don't got no real respect. They haven't established anything on their own. All they want to do is utilize these real dudes and these real names and people that's affiliated to the gang to give them some level of credibility, because alone, they don't have any credibility. They've never done anything. They never stood up for nobody. They never did anything real. So that's what they want to do. They want to tell you about the gang because you know that the gang, there are official dudes who actually have done real stuff inside these gangs. So when you hear that they gangs and somebody say OG, it gives them some level of credibility that they haven't earned. Everything Mysonne got, he earned on his own. Everything that I was a part of was something that I was a part of. I was a major contributor of anything that my name is attached to. I was one of the bosses and one of the heads of. I was one of the leaders of anything that I ever was a part of. You know, so I just don't let these people trick you, because that's what they trying to do. They trying to trick you. These dudes talking about gangs and this and that. I'm gang. Okay, cool. I get it, but are you really a gang member, or are you just somebody that was a doja that wanted protection? It's a lot of them. I'm telling you, most of these dudes is not who they say they is. When you really start having conversations about who they are and start asking other official dudes that you respect, because the official dudes that I respect, that respected the gang members, the top gang members and all of them, these is my brothers. So they calling my phone, they're like, yo, such and such. And I'm like, bro, we ain't even getting into that. Nah, such and such ain't even. That's the situation. I know who I am. You know? So I'm just trying to tell you, Young King, don't let these dudes trick you. It's a lot of them trying to trick you. Don't let these dudes trick you, man. I would advise, if you're a young boy coming up and you ain't born into no gang life, don't get involved. For what? These dudes want to push that shit all day. Cool. I know, like I said, I know a lot of my brothers that's gang members. They've been gang affiliated their whole life. And at 40-something and 50-something years old, they're not on Instagram trying to push for you to be a part of the gang and gang culture. They just not doing it. You know what I'm saying? It's who they, it's part of who their makeup is, but they're not pushing for you to be part of no gang culture. And anybody that's doing that at 40 and 50 is because that's all they got. Because outside of that, they was nobody, right? So they want to push you to be a part of something because it's all that they have. Because outside of them, they ain't got nothing else. You know, we evolving past that, man. We not letting these niggas trick us out of our life and our freedom. We way too smart for that, man. So I just want y'all to know that, man. The loudest person in the room is usually the weakest. We ain't gotta be loud. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gotta prove nothing to nobody. There's nothing to prove to anybody. Don't let nobody make you feel like you gotta prove and react. Or you somebody or you not somebody. Nah. Pop, what's up, young Pop? Guns was good. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we on, man. Every time I'm talking to you, it's gonna be about, it's gonna be about teachable moments. I ain't here to talk about individual men all day, other men all day. If you go to a nigga page, right, and all he do is talk about other men all day, there's something wrong. You gotta really think about it. If a nigga just talk about other men all day, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand that. You gotta sit there and think, if a man constantly talks about other men all day, something ain't right, man. So just want y'all to don't be fooled, man. Shit is a bunch of smoke and mirrors, man. A bunch of smoke and mirrors, man. Don't let these people trick you. They don't be who they say they is. On Instagram, you can be whoever you want. You can be whoever you want on Instagram. It's a different conversation when you face to face looking at a man and ain't nowhere to run. And you looking at a man in his eyes and you got to deal with that man. And everybody is somebody. They're the toughest person. Instagram, everybody is somebody. Let me tell you something. At some point, right, some people you just don't need to talk to, right? When you realize that you morally don't align with somebody, right, it's nothing to talk to them about. It ain't really nothing to talk. Only thing you can do is stay away from me. The minute that I feel that you become a threat to me, then we got to handle this situation that way. Other than that, it's certain people I don't never want to talk to because we don't have nothing in common. There's no conversation needed to have with certain people. Sometimes you realize you just don't morally align with somebody. Their values and morals just don't align with yours. There's no need to talk to those type of people. You just separate yourself from that. Everybody, you can't save everybody because they don't want to be saved. And that's just life. At life, we realize that everybody ain't here to be saved. It's everybody you can't save. These dudes, Instagram, the internet is a cesspool. All you got to do is, I realize the new thing is say Mysonne name and people pay attention to you. So that's a new form of how you get in the algorithm. Mysonne name is in the algorithm. So once you say Mysonne name, you get views, you get YouTube followers. It's the biggest thing in the world. And just say Mysonne name. That's the new thing. That's the new tactic. It's dudes that put 40 or 50 videos out. All they say is Mysonne all day. That's really weird. I've never known nobody to talk about one person all day. That you don't got nothing. It's about what I'm doing in my life. But if I'm a fake activist, what is a real activist? Tell me somebody that's the real activist. I think said I'm a fake. What do real activists do? It is. It's the biggest thing, Pop. You say Mysonne name on Instagram, on YouTube, you get 100,000 views. That's the new wave. Just say Mysonne name. You ain't never got to know Mysonne. You don't got to have nothing. You can just say whatever. Just say Mysonne name and people going to pay attention to you. No, I'm reading the comments because it's hilarious. I want to know what a real activist. If I'm a fake activist, what is a real one? You know, what is the real one? What do real activists look like? I'll never take the bait, Vogel. I'm smarter than these things. But we are going to utilize it for teachable moments, because what happens is, listen, while these dudes is utilizing Instagram to talk negative and promote dumb shit, while you paying attention, I'm going to teach you. You know, my next book is called Raising Kings, and it's about the 12 principles of manhood. You know, so what y'all tend to do bullshit for, I'm going to take that and teach you some real shit. We're going to change what manhood look like. You know, a lot of these dudes have made you think that real is something that is completely fake. You know? So, you got to retrain our babies, man. These babies pay attention to Instagram. So, I'm not going to let y'all mislead them on my watch. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Not on my watch. Everybody ain't going to come together, man. Farrakhan said it, man. He said, we ain't gonna all be together, man. It ain't no unity party with punks. You know what I'm saying? We just ain't gonna all be together. That's part of life. I don't like everybody. Everybody don't like me. Sometimes it's nothing for us to talk about. Sometimes it's called irreconcilable differences, right? I'm not gonna do nothing to you. You stay away from me, and we good. The minute that you become a threat to my life, my being, my family, or something, then go somewhere else. But other than that, we don't gotta talk. I don't want to talk to some of these niggas. I don't want nothing to say to them. Never. You're not gonna hear me say their name or nothing. When I'm teaching you, I'm teaching you. Because it don't be just one individual that I'm talking about. It's a plethora of sucker shit going on, right? So to focus on one individual doing sucker shit at one time is stupid, because it's a bunch of dudes. So all these are teachable moments. It's a bunch of dudes that come on Instagram and talk about other niggas and talk and do all type of shit in the world. The biggest thing in the world is talking about other men and, you know, and screaming and making threats and all that shit. That shit is corny and I'm not gonna focus on the individual. I'm focusing on the behavior. See, to talk about the individual just gives that individual some level of power that they don't have. The behavior is what I'm focusing on. The behavior is called coward culture. So this is about teaching. You know? Well, I'm just saying, you talking about the people that we follow, man. Those activists are people that I follow. You know, I try to live my life in accordance to what Malcolm and Martin represented, you know, to make sure that I utilize my voice to speak on behalf of our people. I utilize my body to sacrifice for our people. And I always speak truth to power. So I don't know nothing else. You know what I'm saying? I don't know nothing else. That's all I've ever done my whole life. You know, so anything else, it don't even reflect me. But like I was saying, man, it's the coward culture, right? So we talk. So just to focus on one individual that does sucker shit and clown shit and corny shit, it diminishes the real lesson, right? So when I say something about somebody, then you have you know what I'm saying? Then it's about the culture. I don't need to sit down with you, right? When I don't know you and you decide that you're going to utilize your platform every day to talk disrespectful shit that in the real streets, in the former life, somebody will murder you for, right? I don't need to sit down with you. It's nothing for us to talk about. I don't talk about you. I don't care nothing about you. So when you utilize your voice to constantly try to discredit, defame, and disrespect me, I don't need to never talk to you about nothing. Ever. There's nothing for us to talk about. You know what I'm saying? What I will do is point out the behavior that you have. If you have an issue with a man and you never even address that man personally about the issue, and you go to Instagram and you got that man's phone number or have connections to connect to that man, then you're not really a man. So it's nothing manly about that. There's no level of manly about that.